Okay, so I'm just going to do a very simple little housing joint in this bit of wood, so we can show you how to use the tri-square, how to use a marking gauge, pencil, a chisel and a tenon saw, and our mallet, of course. Let's not forget the mallet. So we start off with our tri-square. This basically we use to mark 90 degrees on our piece of timber. And the important thing to remember here is this is called the stock handle, and we need to make sure that's right up against a bit of wood. We don't want that going on, or even just the tiniest little bit. The tiniest little gap means you're not at 90 degrees, you could be 90, you just won't be. So make sure that's right up hard against the timber. I tend to hold it on with my thumb like so, so that I know that I've got it there. And I tend to also draw along the top. It's just a bit easier than doing there, really. But you have to, but that's what I do. So we go along like so. And we want to go down both sides as well. So same again, right up, and I'm just going to move it up to that point there. Okay, and then the same that side. On the bench. That's our mark there, and over we go. Okay, and make sure it's nice and tight up against the wood there. Now, if I was going to do a cross halving joint, obviously I need to do the width of that wood so that it slots into my housing. So we now need to make sure that we get the width of the wood. So I'm moving this right up to our line here, like so, and just making a little mark there so I know where to do the same thing with our tri-square. Okay, so we move it up right on the line there. Just do so I can see where I'm going with it. Move it up to our mark. Same on that side. Like so. Okay, that's the tri-square. Fairly simple to use, but important to get it right. If we don't get it right, as I say, if it's like so, it's not going to be at 90 degrees. Right, we now need to establish the halfway point of that wood, because we're going to take half of this out. This is going to be our waste wood that we're going to remove with our chisel and tenon saw. So, with the marking gauge, as we said, we undo that bit and this thing moves along. Now, I need to establish a mark going halfway. So, I'm going to eyeball it first, do it this way around so you can see. So I'm going to guess that that is pretty much in the middle. You tighten that up so it doesn't move. And then the way we check it, we can just make a little point there, and if we turn the wood around, I'll make a little point there. Now I can see that that's not in the middle because I've come at it from both sides and I've got two little points. So the middle mark is going to be right in the middle there, yeah? So just undo that, get my pin right on the middle, like so, and do it up again. Okay? Now that should be bang smack in the middle. Alright? Now, I just want to run it right through. We don't want a big line going right across, that's not what we want. Okay, so if we make a little point there, that little point is going to stop us by going right the way through. The way to use this, it is quite a tricky little tool, and a lot of people struggle with it. We need to make sure we maintain contact with this part of the tool and this part of the tool with the wood at all times. So it just slots into the corner there, and then just roll the pin down till it touches the timber, and then holding it like so. I mean, you know, you're not going to have much control of it holding at the end like that. So nice firm control of there. Watch your nail. Don't, you know, you can catch your nail. Roll the pin over. Don't dig it in too far, and then just push it through, maintaining contact. You know, we don't want to be end up by doing that, and that can happen. You know, you see these little lines here. That's the grain. Okay. Sometimes the grain can wander off, and your pin gets caught in the grain, and you come off. You have to make sure you maintain contact. Don't dig it in too much. If you need to do it a couple of times, do it a couple of times. And probably easier if you put it on the bench rather than up like that. I'm just doing it so you can see. On the bench, you push it through. both sides. I mean, I've already done it that side, but push it through, yeah, like so. Again, you've got to relax with this. You know, if you push too hard, you dig it in too hard, you're just going to have trouble. Nice and easy, and if you take your time and relax, you shouldn't have trouble. Okay, last little thing. It helps if you just run your pencil along the line, and then when we can see the line a little bit more easily. That is your marking out, marking gauge, tri-square. Not forgetting the pencil. Okay. Right, now we need to get rid of this bit of timber in the middle there. So we move to our tenon saw. This is sort of more careful cutting, and generally speaking, it's cross cutting. So you're going to cut across the grain. You wouldn't rip down the grain with the tenon saw. So we use a bench hook. You can use a vise, but I'm going to use a bench hook here. Plenty of weight on that, so it's nice and solid. I use my thumb again just to come up to the line from the waist side. I don't want to go right on the line because this is quite accurate cutting we're doing here. And just come back a bit. Nice and easy. Okay, I've got myself a little groove to start off with there. As you can see, I've come up to the line from the waistward. And just nice and easy. Just start yourself off. I'm keeping an eye on that line, and I just want to go down to the line there, no further. Okay, so down this side. Check, nearly. Tiny bit more there. And that's that. And then the same on this side. That's it. More there. And we're there. Now, I'm just going to put a couple more cuts. Just to make it easier when we come to use the chiseling. And then one more. There we go. Okay, and it doesn't matter exactly where those middle cuts are, it's just to help you with your chiselling. Okay, so that's now ready for chiselling. Bring it over to the vise. We pop it in there. That's it. You just get it nice and level, I think. There we go. Nice and firmly, that's good and solid. Now, chisel. This is a beveled edge chisel, which is the most common type of chisel. And we're just going to remove this central bit of timber. We need a mallet for this. Golden rules with chiselling: always chisel away from you. Yeah, you never ever want to be doing that. You know, it's a very sharp tool, and you can do yourself nasty injury with it. So we need to be respectful and make sure that the blade is always pointing away from you when you're chiselling. So the first bit here, I would think when you're taking out larger bits of timber, you would use the chisel that way up because you've got a little bit more control over it really. We do use the chisel flat, and I'll show you how we do that in a minute. But to start off with, we're just going to take off. We don't want to be going all the way down, and we don't want to be going right the way through it, because if we go right the way through it, it can split around the sides, which is, again, not what we want. So I haven't gone right down to the line. I've just taken out the timber like so. That's it, coming down to the line. That's it. And then just right on the line now. We've got a little knot there, which the knots are a lot harder. There's more sap in them. They're a lot harder. They take a little bit more chiselling than the rest of the timber. So you just have to be a little bit more careful. Try not to take too much off. Okay, so as you can see, I've come down to the line there, but I've not gone right the way through. So now I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. One thing I did forget to mention, I've got my glasses on, but you should also be wearing goggles when you do this because you're chipping bits of timber away. So again, I'm nearly down to the line here. Okay, I'm the same both sides now. Okay, and now I'm just going to take this middle bit out. Now you've got control this way. If you're going too deep, you can just angle the chisel. Notice I'm not hitting it that hard. Just tackle it. The chisel's pretty sharp, you know. You'll get through the timber quite easily. And then just taking out. And again, I've got control this way. I'm just going. You know, if I need to go a little bit deeper, I can bring it up. If it's too deep, just lower the handle a bit. Until I'm pretty much down to where I need to be. Okay, and that's not far off it now. So now, what I'm going to do, just to tidy that up, I'm going to do what we call horizontal paring. Horizontal paring? Anyway, use the chisel like so, and we need to keep it fairly flat. We don't want it diving down, so keep the chisel nice and flat. Don't hold on to the wood. Your vice does that. You need to keep this hand behind the blade. And what I like to do, I tend to anchor my elbow. Some people don't. They do it like so. I find I'm a bit more control if I've anchored myself to the bench. And just buffer thin bits of material there, just to bring it down to where we want to be going. Now, we also, you can do this by eye. I mean, we know we're on the line here because we've got a line. See that I need a little bit more. I'm going to turn it around. Like so. And again, just we've got this knot here, and that's a bit more difficult. You might need to get your chisel out. Your mallet. Just get through that knot. It can be quite nasty, and the wood splits. Create a few issues with the old knot. You know, it's going to happen to you. You're going to come across knots. You just got to work through it, little bits at a time. This isn't the best quality wood, I have to say. CLS is the cheapest timber you're going to get, really. So you're never going to get a beautiful, smooth finish with your chisel. The better quality wood you have, the better finish you've got. Now I can see that by looking on it, is pretty good. If if you want to get yourself a steel rule, here you are, you can measure. Now I can see that I need to be 19 mil. Oh, hang on, that's better. Yeah, 19 mil. So, you know, you can just look at that. And I can see that I'm a little bit, tiny bit more to come off there. Yeah, tiny little bit more to come off, only about half a mil. Just keep working at it until you've got it where you want it. Use the chisel that way just to tidy up the edges. And if I were to do the same on this bit, it would slot in quite nicely. And that's quite a tight fit. Sometimes you might need to do some vertical pairing. I'll tell you what, we'll do that. Because that is a little tight. So what I'm going to do is literally do it with the mallet. And once I've got a start, it's a little bit easier and I can do that. And if I just use a sort of cutting motion like so, you can just go through it, yeah, like that. Be careful not to. And that should go a little bit easier on this now. He says, yeah, a little bit easier. Okay? And that is that basically. So we've done our chiselling with the mallet that way, and then pairing like so and like so. And then with the tenon saw, careful cutting to a proper depth. So that should come through the tools for a basic halving joint.